Everybody loves dads, stories, and the Marine Corps. What could be better than Marine Corps dads who tell stories? Here's another story with veteran storyteller John Sugar Jr., a Marine Corps dad.
Tonight, we're going to tell the story of the earthworm who loved Oreos. Once upon a time, there was a little worm who lived in the ground, and he wormed his way through the dirt, and all he ever ate was dirt. And he was getting kind of tired of the taste of dirt. But then he heard a story, a tale, as it were, of a land where they made dirt cake. And he said, I want to try dirt cake. So he sneaked into the church, little stealth worm. Squish, 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 squish. Have you guys ever thought to look for worms when you go to church? No. No one else did either. He sneaked into the door. And there on the table was a dirt cake. Now, everyone knows that a dirt cake is made from Oreos and cream and gummy worms. And this little worm went up and took his first bite of dirt cake, which was actually Oreos. And inside his head, there was music. And he said, "What was that?" And he took another big bite. And the same thing happened. And he's like, I love Oreos. So you know what he did? That worm stole a package of Oreos. Don't ask me how, but he sneaked it back to his home and brought the Oreos into the ground really hard. He had to dig like a bunch of holes to put the Oreos in. And he stashed all his Oreos down there, and he was like, "Mwahahahaha! I am a worm with Oreos. Mwahaha!" And all the other worms are like, "Oh no, what has he done? Now all the humans are gonna try and come and get their Oreos back. What will happen to us?" But that worm didn't care. He's like, "Mwahahaha! I have my Oreos. Mwahahaha!" And suddenly, and all the worms were saying, "Give him back! Give them their Oreos back!" And that worm said, "No! They're mine!" And he bit his teeth into an Oreo and hung on because something grabbed him by the tail. And he was like, "Ah!" And they were stretching him out, and he was like, "Ah! No!" And the last thing that happened was he took a bite and bit through the Oreo. Ah! And they pulled him out. You know what got him? The early bird who got the worm. And that early bird said, tastes like Oreos. And so that bird stole the Oreos next. Da-na-na. Maybe we'll talk about that story next time. The end.
Daddy.
That was another story with John Sugar Jr., a Marine Corps dad. Check the show notes for links to his Patreon and website at creativegrumbles.com.